guys, if you're new here, my name's Sandy. I do crafts. If you're returning, thanks for hanging out with me again. So yeah, I talk about crafts that I've been doing. If you hear bird chirps, that's my bird. His name's Scuba Petey. He's a budgie. And my dog Baxter is asleep right now, but if he gets up and walks around, I mean, power to him, it's his house. So yeah, so I feel like I've done nothing this week again. But I think I might just be being overcritical of myself because I don't have my sewing machine set up yet since the move. I don't have really a dedicated table space, so I've been doing a lot of knitting and crochet, and knitting and crochet are really, really slow crafts, especially since the knitting I'm doing, I am sort of on a bit of a deadline. It's the Bliss Bare Necessities set. It's available on Lovecraft, so I'll link everything below. And please don't bark. Good. Okay, so yeah, so I have been working on it. I'm on the back of the sweater now. So it's coming along well. Like, the thing is, I've made this in the 12 to 18 month size, so 1 year to a year and a half. Math. And it's like, it feels big, and I know it's for a year and a half because he's due next month, so I'm kind of thinking, okay, that way he can wear it all next winter. But like, this feels big. Like, that's gonna be his little sweater. But also, here's the thing, is that I have no concept of the size of babies, and I do this every time I knit something, and I've done so much baby knitting in the past year. Past couple years, all my friends have decided to have kids, and all Adam's friends, so you know, I've done just like a ridiculous amount of baby knitting, and I think I'm coming to terms with the fact that I don't know how big babies actually are. Like, I'm not around babies a lot, so I don't know. So maybe it'll fit. I mean, I'm just gonna go with the pattern, but if anybody has any kind of thoughts on this, because like, again, I know it's gonna be next winter before he wears it, so maybe it's fine, but like, that feels big to me. Yeah. A note about the pattern. I'm using the recommended. It's the Bliss Cashmerino. I love this yarn, first off. It's merino, acrylic, and cashmere, and it's this pattern's so cute. It's got everything. It's got baubles, mock cables, this little twisty stitch thing. And then this is gonna have little bears in it. But that embroidery, because see, here's the blanket. So I finished the blanket ages ago. I haven't woven in any more ends because it's just not really fun, is it? So this is the blanket. Now, I haven't woven in any more ends, and I'm not great at color work knitting. Let me just put that out there. So the thing is, they tend to sort of bunch up like that and go in, but I want them to stay flat. So on a knitting Facebook group a couple days ago, I saw a woman be like, oh, all I have to do is line the blanket. So there's more than just that color work bunching at play here. I'm worried about like little fingers and toes getting in here, you know, and just like getting injured or whatever. Like, you know, it's not as bad as that one because I was twisting, I was figuring out how to twist, and I just decided not to twist, which still haven't figured out what the best option is, but I'm just not twisting on the sweater. So what I'm thinking I might do on the blanket, but not the sweater, because the sweater obviously is going to be like on him, so it'll be stretched and it'll be fine. After I embroider all the little eyes and noses well, this is the thing too, is the embroidery, the dark brown thread of the embroidery is going to be really tough to weave in a way that it doesn't like show on the front. So I'm thinking, should I maybe just, did I finish? Yeah, so I was on a Facebook group, she was talking about lining the blankets, and I'm like, is this a thing? Is it a thing? And then it refreshed before I could like ask, but yeah, so what I'm thinking of doing is I'll block it, I'll finish the embroidery, I'll block it, do the embroidery, and then I might get a piece of linen and I'll leave the knit border, and I'll just try to like get right in there with the linen. And then on this side, what I can do is, apparently I hate myself, so I can hand quilt these bits down to stay the way they should. And I don't know, because the thing too is I've worked so hard on this. Like, this is hands down the hardest thing I've ever knit in my entire life. And I want it to be something that, you know, they use and that the baby loves and that, you know, it becomes an heirloom one day because it's beautiful and the yarn is beautiful. And even just looking at it on the table right now, I'm like, oh my God, like this is beautiful. So maybe putting the linen backing in it will help protect it a little more. And I mean, it is a baby blanket, so it's gonna get washed. I mean, the yarn is super wash, but what just fell? The needle I was weaving my ends in with, forgot that was in there. That's how long it's been. But yeah, I'm just wondering, then I can knot the embroidery. It might be a little more secure. If it goes to the washing machine a lot, it won't be like a thing. So has anybody done this? Is this something that's commonly done, or like it's going to be a lot of work, especially hand quilting it all. But I mean, I apparently really like making simple projects hard for myself. I've learned this. So maybe it'll be vintagey and cute and I'll enjoy the process. And I could even quilt down these guys and really get that, you know, but I want it to be a good quality thing. And if it's something good, I'll do it in all my baby blankets. So I don't know, because the only other baby blanket I've made, because I do a sweater and a hat for all my friends, but this is my nephew. So for my brother-in-law had a baby and I did his, but it didn't need a backing because there was no collar work. So there was no issue. It was just like, it was tons of cables. At that point, that was also the hardest thing I'd ever knit. Yeah, just tons and tons of cables. So maybe I need to start making simpler baby blankets. That's so cute. Yeah, so, you know, and it's baby blankets are really good to learn new skills and test your skills. So maybe I'll do it. What's the worst that happens? It doesn't work, and then I just pick off the stitches and get sad about that and be sad for a day, but at least I tried. Instead of me sitting here constantly wondering the entire time, should I put that linen back? Should I put that linen back? And then if I go and I present it to him, it'll just be a thing of like, oh, I should have done the linen. I should have done the linen. You know, it's like, is it better to regret doing it or not doing it? Anyway, thoughts? Let me know if this is actually a thing. If it's not, I call dibs as the inventor, please. Yeah, and as for crochet, all I have done so far is my temperature blanket. So this is the good side. Well, the side without the ends. This is the pattern by Wool and Hook. I'm doing it in Drops Karisma. It's a superwash wool. And I've explained the temperature blanket before, but basically every day each color is assigned a certain temperature. We've been having an Arctic blast. So there's a big white stripe. Yeah, and it's really good. It's starting to get annoying though because it's been so cold and I'm like, I just want to cuddle up in it, but what can you do? So that's as far as I've gotten on that. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this pattern before. I like this pattern. I like this yarn. I'm having a good time with it. And yeah, but I do want to be under this blanket while I'm making it. So it's like, it'll get to that point in the summer where I won't want to be under a wool blanket, but there you go. Acquisitions, the only thing I've really bought is, I signed up for shoemaking class forever, like during lockdown. So like forever ago, during the first lockdown. Like I liked it, but it wasn't that great. So I signed up for another one called I Can Make Shoes. And she sent an email because apparently she is upgrading her entire thing. So she's like, her entire class, she's re-recording all the things that she did when she was like also in lockdown herself. So without a microphone, without any tech setup, she's re-recording everything and she's adding, like, I think there's a men's shoes portion now. So she said since I got the email, since I was already in the class, I could upgrade mine for 120. So I think the new one's 1,000, but it does come with a kit to like make everything. So if you're looking at shoemaking, I mean, I thought her old videos were good. So if she's made them even better, then yeah, definitely go for it. I'll add the link below. You know, or in my case, if you just want to have something sitting looking at you, I've even bought all the leather. Like once that table gets set up, I'm going to hopefully, I have something to sew for my friend. And after that, it's going to be like, let's make some shoes. Like, that's what's happening. Otherwise, I haven't really bought anything, but as I've been unpacking, I'm finally at the point where I can sort of reach my shelves. So I need to make a decision about what I'm doing with some of my stuff. So I figured, I really like looking at other people's stuff. So I will show you some of the craft stuff, box by box, that I have found. So these are all my embroidery samplers. I went really hard into the Kiriki press. I bought every kit. If you're unfamiliar with Kiriki press, the really cool thing about them is it's a Canadian company, which I love, and she does these things where you learn the stitches on the outside and then you get to practice them in the sampler. And I found this as being a really good way to learn embroidery, because it's like you get to, while you're practicing, you also get to like really just reinforce it by doing it in something. And also my house, like for some odd reason, the apartment when we bought it had a bunch of random little nails. So every time I see one, I've just been putting an embroidery sampler there, but I'm out of embroidery samplers, so I need to make a few more. But I'm in the middle of one now, but I don't know where the stuff went. I am such a disaster when I move. But yeah, so I actually have every single one of these. She used to have a Sampler of the Month club that also comes with little mini ones. So I have this one's the Easter basket. I have the Beach Day. The Swan. Valentine. I actually like that. That looks like paper piecing. That's really cool. This one is Hanging Plant. Honeybees. The Pasanki Egg. Coral Reef. I actually am thinking about this. I do have more of these somewhere. Floral Bun, because I have all like the winter themed ones separately. Berries. And Succulent. So these come with the printed fabric and they come with all the thread you need. So you just need your like hoop and needles, and yeah, like I really, really recommend these. They are so good. If she saw the Sampler of the Month, I would be doing it, but I was so sad. And it was like my favorite. It was tied for a favorite with Wine Club, and she canceled and Wine Club canceled like in the same week. It was a devastating week for me. So then that was on top of this box. So, shoot. So this one was actually one of the little mini club samplers, but I ran out of thread. I think this one came with Winter Wreath. So I am going to find the color. I think we're actually headed to the shops tomorrow. So I just need, yeah, because she gives you like enough thread to, oh, there's a needle in there. She gives you enough thread to do both, but the issue I had was I made a lot of mistakes on this one learning the stitches. I think honestly I should have not done the Winter Wreath. Like I finished it and it's beautiful. It's on the bookshelf now, but I think I just wasn't there yet with a lot of stitches, so I had to like undo a lot of them and redo them, and really like it's good because I learned them, but at the same time, like, yeah, I just didn't have enough thread. I don't even know what stitch this is. I think it's just a chain stitch, but it's really cute, so yeah. Then I need to buy some cheapy hoops to display these little ones in. So that's there. I have dust. Oh, I have these. So, okay, I love dyeing yarn, and that's where that went. 90% of my life. Oh, that's where that went. So what I'm doing with these is I couldn't find a place that would ship sock blanks to me in any way that was like affordable for 100% wool sock blanks. So if you're unfamiliar with a sock blank, this is literally just a piece of yarn. Why is it like this? That here I've knitted 2 strands together. So I made these all 50-gram balls, so I don't know where the other half of this guy is. But the idea is that, oh, I didn't leave these live? Oh, the other strand ended here. So they're mostly even 50-gram balls. I've split like the 100-gram skeins into 50-gram balls, and I think this is just some undyed like Skakamayer yarn from Lovecrafts that I bought a ton of before Brexit. But yeah, so you do this, and I couldn't find them. I don't have a knitting machine, so I just made them. This is a knit with 2 strands, so when I dye this, if I do like a fancy pattern or something, I can knit straight off them and get matching socks, which I love. So hopefully, and then I'm going to try some like experiment with some different dyes and see how it works, but that's what it's going for. I'm in the middle of knitting one, and then I think I have 2. Okay, I have, oh my God, I make myself insane. So I have one on the needles that's for 2 of them, but I have 3 balls of yarn in here. So there's another one of these somewhere. Another one of these somewhere. So hopefully I'll be able to find it, because, yeah. But anyways, that's in there. That's good. I actually love this project for when I'm like on the go knitting. It's great for planes because it's just literally back and forth, planes and fairies. Maybe I'll take it with me to Greece. Is there anything else good in here, or no? Then we just have a bunch of fabric scraps. I think I have a whole plastic bin of fabric scraps at this point. I need to sort my fabric scraps. The thing too is I have my beekeeper's quilt I've been making forever that I've been knitting, and I'm out of stuffing. So what I actually really would like to do is stuff like that scrap I don't think I'll ever use. And I can just like cut it into little bits. But bigger pieces, I mean, maybe in order to clean up my craft supplies, like that's big. I could, like, if I sort them all out, I mean, is this really the only way I'm going to get these fabric scraps organized is to take up English paper piecing? Is that realistically the only answer to this? I've had worse ideas. So, yeah, fabric scraps. So that's what's in this box. I might, well, at least I know I can get this done, because I could probably finish this in like a day. If I, less than a day, if I put my mind to it and I get the materials. So I'm going to finish that. That's good. I'm happy I found that and I know where it is. I don't know what I'm going to do with these scraps. Scrappy project suggestions, always welcome. But yeah, so thank you for listening to me blather on. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you're making something, I hope you got farther than I have on anything this week. So yeah, hopefully I'll keep my momentum up and see you next week, and we'll do more crafts together. Let me know what you're working on. And honestly, seriously, let me know if this linen backing thing on a quilt is just a really weird idea or if it seems legit, because I'm like, it makes sense in my head, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.